Order and ask that you stand for the pledge of allegiance and remain standing to Pastor Casey, lead us in prayer. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us all take a moment and bow our heads in prayer. Heavenly Father, what more can I say but thank you? Thank you for 200 years of guidance of your Holy Spirit as we come together in only a few short days to celebrate the 200 years that this village has been here. And Lord, we know that you have blessed us because you have blessed the leaders of the past, the present, and the future. And we ask you that your spirit be with them tonight, be on their hearts and their minds as they juggle with tough decisions for our village. And I just pray that your spirit be with them in all they do in every endeavor, and that you bless our celebration coming up soon as we celebrate the 200 years of bliss that you've given Blissfield. And in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, we give prayers and thanks. Amen. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pastor Casey. Open roll call.
James Zeitzen,
Present.
Gwen Dusa,
Here.
Bill Gritzmaker,
Here.
Mike Gunner,
Present.
Jerry Hayes,
Here.
Eric Rogers,
Here.
Timothy Waters,
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Move to approve the minutes of July 8th, 2024 as presented. Support that. Bill and Eric, go ahead. Oh, is there gonna be amendments? Go ahead, Lisa.
Jerry,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
James.
Yes, thank you. Moving on to presentations and communications. So I asked Danielle to put this in our packet tonight, only so that we have history of what we did and how much we spent. Just want to let the public know the $1,500 in due diligence to have inspected by engineers. Does anybody have any questions or comments on it?
I like the decision of it being stated here very clearly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it was a really great project to at least initially take a look at, but based upon the inspection memo, I would recommend pass. I didn't really have any differing opinions on it.
No, other than I wondered, how did that property even come up for a possibility to look at? I mean, it's not, at the time, I don't think there was a sign posted for sale out front. Or maybe there wasn't, I just didn't see it.
Oh, yeah, there was a sign of it for a while before I went online and looked at it and started thinking about the possibilities and potentially a site for DPW. And then I think we had some discussions here about it. We initially just went and looked at it, didn't spend any money on it, but there were some concerns after Brent went through the building.
No, Brent never did end up going. So I had talked to council at the May 13th meeting about it. At that time, I'd indicated that I was going to schedule an inspection with the engineers because I had some structural concerns and with Brent. So it was talked about at that May 13th meeting.
It's still for sale. If anybody out there is looking for a warehouse. Any other discussion on that? Tonight's agenda. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I move we approve the agenda for this evening as presented.
Support. You, Jerry and Tim. Lisa?
Mike,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Jerry.
Yes.
James.
Yes, thank you. I'll open the floor for public comment. Items on the agenda, items not on the agenda. Just ask that you state your name for the record.
Hi, my name is Karen Wagner. I am the treasurer, the Blissfield or the Schultz Homes Memorial District Library. So the vote for the millage is in 2 weeks. Just want to remind everybody to make sure to set your alarm to vote that day on August 6th, Tuesday, August 6th. Tell other people to vote that day if you can. And Yeah, it's been a 2-year process, but we're finally like in the home stretch. We're feeling optimistic. So hopefully we'll get this done. I just want to leave with a few words from our assistant librarian, Autumn Smith. She sent this email to us. I feel like it was really good information to spread and hopefully people think that they want to vote yes for our library. Okay. According to every library, data suggests that even people who don't use the library will vote for funding if they see the value for the community. Yes, we provide books, magazines, and DVDs. Also important to highlight online services like ebooks, e-audiobooks, and streaming services for shows, movies, and music. But it might also be helpful to promote other features and services of the library. The library holds space for community building through ongoing programs like Storytime and Book Club. A mother came to Storytime after having her 3rd baby, and it was her first outing since the new baby, and the other Storytime moms clapped and cheered her return. This is community at its finest. New friendships have developed through the Book Club, and we are bringing in people who haven't been active in the library in the past. The library offers vital virtual tech assistance, especially in this increasingly digital era. We help people print important documents, access the internet, download, open and or attach PDF, etc. Just this week, someone came in needing to print a shipping label and had gone to the post office. The post office couldn't print the label, but knew they could send them to the library, and we helped get the job done. Dean helped a woman on a limited income learn to access the Toledo Blade online, and she was able to cancel her subscription. She said the price kept going up and she was struggling to afford it. Not a week goes by that we don't help someone with computer issues. We often hear that people don't know who else to look for help. Children live far away and are busy. Brendan helped a patron with disabilities access a free permanent national park pass. So the library serves so many people in many ways beyond books. We serve young families by providing programs that make them feel welcome, as well as fostering an environment that is safe and non-judgmental in the library. We serve those without computer access, limited digital literacy, and as a library, we're dynamically evolving to meet the needs of our community. With that, please will vote yes on the 6th. Thank you.
Karen, do you know where the polling is taking
So it'll
place?
be in your township, so most people here probably live in the village, which will be fire.
Is it at the firehouse, not at the?
Oh, it is.
New township
Okay,
building?
sorry, the new township building, which is over on
Westport.
the west side of town.
We're signing TLC.
Sorry.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Glad you're here. No, thank you.
Tuesday, August 6th,
Tuesday, August 6th. At the new township.
the new township location.
Okay. Okay, yep, and then your other town, like, you don't live in the village, you go to.
We
your
normal,
township.
yeah, normal polling.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
all right. This might be my last village now. Yes, yes. Okay. Thanks, Karen.
Any other public comment? Okay, I'll move on. Council, any other people? Down here? All right, new business. Get started. We wanted the 2024 street crack fill project. Pretty straightforward, we do this every year.
Move to award the 2024 street crack fill project to K and B Asphalt in the amount of $20,137.50.
Support. Questions or comments on that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, mine, kind of quick, who did we use last year, Danielle? I was kind of curious, and how much did we spend last year? I know I could have looked it up, I obviously did not, but I didn't know if you would recall. And I'm gonna ask the same question for the, street mill and fill, who the, people were last.
I know it was GT contracting last year, I can tell you the amount. Last year, we spent $33,200. Yeah, that was awarded to GT contracting.
Gotcha.
We did bid again this year.
Yes, I see that they bid again this year and we chose not to go with them. My assumption is because of their, they must have a higher cost versus what we're looking for right now with K and B.
Correct. We did recommend the lowest responsive bidder. I did include the bid tabulation in your packet as well. It should have been the first document after that agenda item that lists the prices. So GT contractor's price came in on the high end at 48,900.
That is quite a difference.
Yes.
I didn't know if it was something perhaps if we really liked them and I thought that their work was outstanding, we would, even though if they were a couple $100 difference, but obviously that is not.
Yeah, that's quite a bit more. I did talk to them. I think that they have a lot of projects going on.
So,
They did share, I did let them know what my recommendation to council would be tonight. They did share they continue in the future, but that big, and we do like them. They did great work. Since I've been with the village, we've not worked a ton with K&B asphalt. They did just seal coat the basketball courts, which was a fairly small job. And they did a good job, but again, that big of a price difference, I would not be able to justify going with a different bidder.
thank you. Thanks, Mike.
My question is, how do we know what the unit price is? Because obviously they look at different, one company may say, okay, there's 1,000 feet worth of cracks on the street, another company may say there's 250 feet worth of cracks. So what is their unit price? Because that could change what we're actually paying on the contract, correct? We
So-
may get a better service by paying for it, but there may be more work performed.
We actually purposely bid this not by the amount that they're using in the street, and we require them to come look at it. So because in this, we changed it before I came on. My understanding from Brent is that we had tried to bid it that way before, and then they wouldn't fill all of the areas or some of it, and then they would charge us. So Brent found, they switched it where they list the streets, require them to come look at the street, and then they are required to do all the cracks in that road that we've identified. And they, so that's why we request the price per street instead of like based on what their actual material or unit cost is. And that's been successful for us, and it ensures that that entire street is crack filled from curb to curb.
So if Brent inspects and he says you missed them, they'll come back and.
Correct.
and see.
Yes. So we go, when they come to do that project, we actually typically have a guy that stays with them for the most part. I'm not saying they'll never leave, but for the most part stays with them. But definitely is following and looking at that street. And when they come to do the site inspection, Brent goes with them and says, this is the street, and shows them all of the areas, and they go through everything that we're expecting, review the specifications and everything, so that we can make sure we're getting the best price for the project.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions,
No,
comments? Pizza.
Tim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes,
Mike,
Yes.
Gwen,
yes,
Jerry,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
James,
Yes. Item number 2 is street mill.
Daniel, who did it then last year for us?
Last year, the street mill and fill was completed by Michigan Paving and Materials, and the amount of $249,559.
Thank you.
They also do pool, second floor.
They did not, that was daily excavating.
Move council to approve the 2024 street mill and fill project to Henry Bergman in the amount of $229,562.61.
Support. Do you have any other questions or comments? Lisa.
Gwen,
Yes,
Mike,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Eric,
yes,
Bill,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
James,
Yes. Beautiful. Okay, historical depot foundation report. Danielle, I'll turn this over to you.
I have placed this item on the agenda. I will tell you guys, I struggled a little bit where to place it. I'm not necessarily requesting any action from council. I know that I've shared this report in an email. I am still waiting on the engineers to provide a cost estimate for proposal for the geotechnical review. Which they're recommending is the next step to really, that would firm up their recommendation if they feel we would be able to repair that foundation where it sits and gets yet another 30, 40 years, or if they would recommend relocation. So once I have that price, I plan to move forward from there. I was hoping to have it before the council meeting tonight, but I'm more or less sharing this again to put it out in the public to show what we have done, that we do want to try to be proactive to save that building and just make sure that you guys don't have any concerns with that direction or any.
It looks like river erosion is the culprit.
The,
Or contributing factor to it.
yeah, the structural engineer indicated in the report that they had some concerns with that river water level going up and down and impacting the ground there. And that, my understanding is that geotechnical review would really show them and give them a good insight as to how badly and what that impact is.
Yeah, Danielle and I spoke about where to put this in the agenda. The one thing we did want to highlight is budget discussions coming up. If this building does need to be moved, we might need to start earmarking some money, not only for a future site, but also the move. Unfortunate, but that might be the future we're looking at.
And I
Keep
will.
that in mind.
Yeah, and I will obviously keep you guys posted as soon, once I get that cost estimate for the geotechnical, I'll report that back to you guys and keep you involved throughout this process. And right now, the foundation, we did some repairs, it's not leaking, the engineers didn't have any immediate concern. I think we're just hoping to be proactive, especially because we do have a budget request to replace the roof and the windows eventually. So I would hate to recommend to replace the roof and then turn around and say, oh, we have to move this now, which potentially could obviously impact that. So we're hoping to just be proactive and make sure that we're taking care of that building into the future.
Any other questions or comments? None? None? All right, moving on to the village administrator's evaluation. When?
I'd like to. I do.
You
I
can
do.
file it and send
I
it out.
know, I'm such a teacher. I know it. I know it. I truly did enjoy it. Did a little bit different with the format. I don't know if you guys have realized that or not. It's fine. Here we are. Danielle and I had obviously talked on the phone here and piggyback on what Mike had done the year prior. But I asked Danielle to put in her self-evaluation on a separate entity. You can see that last line there, or that last column, I should say. And so there's her self-evaluation. You can see that there are the average evaluations for each of the items listed underneath the heading as given. Went ahead and again piggyback off what Mike had done, supplying the average in the comment suggestion section, the what council's average was, and then what the administrator had said. I like seeing those numbers side by side. And then I also liked the comments I noticed, because I did specifically look at last year's evaluation, and I think we should pat ourselves in the back, meaning I think we supplied a lot more information to Danielle this year, and she appreciated that. That was something she had asked us about last year, is you know, the numbers are nice in the evaluation part, but true growth comes from these comments, and that's what she had appreciated. And I think that we all stepped up, as I obviously saw all of your comments, and we all participated. It was not just a one-man show or woman show. it went ahead and, it was, all of us. And, you know, for my 2 cents worth, I thought we had very good comments. I liked, how the evaluation turned out overall. And, I do see that, we got some goals there, and I didn't know if we were going to talk about those this evening. I was kind of just leaving it up to you, but as far as putting it together, you know, I did my best, and, so it turned out good. Thanks for doing out and for everybody.
Thanks for.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
I'm so sorry. Can I interrupt just 1 second?
Yeah.
Could everybody, make sure that they're talking into their microphones and speaking loud and clear for our interpreters who are on Zoom?
Gotcha.
They're just struggling to hear, myself included.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, lady.
You know, we're pretty quick in this meeting. We're already at the end of business. So do you want to talk about those goals?
It's up to you. I don't know how Danielle, Danielle, do you have any comments that you want to state about your evaluation? I think maybe you want to hear what Danielle's comments are about it. Maybe, maybe not.
I did read the entire thing. I really only have one, I guess the goals is something I wanted to talk about as well. Just wanted to make sure that we all agreed that those are the goals for me going into the next coming year. Just because I know you guys individually wrote these goals and I work for all of you, not just a single one of you. So that would be my biggest request. Otherwise, throughout the rest of the evaluation, I did not have any questions. I do have no issues with these goals. I do have a question or would like clarification or to talk about one specifically. And I'm not opposed to it at all. I don't know if you want me to do that now or.
I like the idea of us discussing the goals as well, because I just put down everyone's goals. Obviously, I did not. I can choose, but I put everyone.
Yeah, that's good.
I do think we should talk about that, yes.
Well, you obviously are okay with doing that. Before we include it in the packet, so I'm assuming you're okay
Yeah,
with
I
that.
did put that in the packet just so we remember, but yes, I elect to do this in an open session. Sorry, I should have said that.
No, but I think you stated.
No, I meant to get there as well. Thank you, Mike.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, your clarification. Open discussion is probably passing.
So the biggest one that I have a couple minor things, just clarification for myself, but the biggest one that I would like to talk about is the fourth one down. It says daily rounds throughout the village with departments and catching things by eye. No way I'm saying I won't do this. I talk to the department heads on a daily basis. It's very rare that I don't talk to them every day. So my only question is with the daily rounds, I would like some clarification if you guys are wanting and expecting me to be out going to each of the departments every single day. And my concern with this is just the work balance, and doing that I am giving up time in the office, and I would like to go out more frequently. That's actually something I've been talking to the department heads about as well. I think that daily is unrealistic for me to do that and get all of the things that I need to do that are not in the office. So I'm not saying I won't do that. I would just like clarification and maybe we could do like a rotation, like I go to a different place where I'm not going to every single one every day. And right now I'm talking about the impact to my workload. I also have some concerns with it impacting the workload if I'm meeting every day with the department heads and what they have to get done and taking away from them. So I'm hoping that with that goal, we could talk about a balance that would meet what your expectations are, but still allow myself and the department heads to be productive and get our things done.
You currently meet weekly with the department here. Pretty much.
So I meet, every Monday morning, we have a staff meeting for just the village office to
Okay.
communicate things that are going on, and that's every Monday morning at 8:15. Because we all kind of overlap and help each other so much here. The department heads I meet with on the first and third Wednesday of every month, and we kind of we were meeting weekly. And we found that it was too much. It was just, they weren't productive, so we reduced it to the twice a month. And those have been really successful. It gives us an opportunity for all the departments to share things that are impacting other departments or big things that they have going on. But I talk to the department heads regularly. Obviously, Laura and Chief are here in the office, so I'm constantly seeing them. Brent stops in here every morning to chat with me, and then Nora and Steve typically will come up about twice a week. And this is not counting any of the times I do go out to them. But I talk to him usually on the phone almost every day, and I would say the same for Nora. Like, for example, today I did not talk to Nora. That is rare. It's not very often that I don't talk to them almost daily.
Would, I don't know the daily rounds thing, but given your workload, would a weekly or semi-week or, once a month, twice a month?
The rotation.
Just to get out, I don't know
Yeah.
if they're wanting them to see like the hourly employees, that kind of thing, the way that's written.
I'll say that one's mine, so, it's something that, again, from, we've had Waddock on as village administrator for a long time, and that's something he did, it was, may not been daily, but he did go out and he drove around town, and I think we're small enough municipality that I think it's good for you just to get out there to meet with public, to meet with our, obviously trying to, need to break the chain of command, but talk with our supervisors and our staff if they want to. Again, I think if I drive around town and there's something that I catch, like, hey, let's address this, let's do that. Guy's talking, Glenn was making around on our bike the other day. And I'm sure you noticed something that you just didn't notice because you don't get out and about and do it. Try to spray with a garden hose, but miss, but.
Yes, he did.
But again, I think we're small enough to where you can get out and you can communicate often with our, number one, with our department heads. I think it just gives you a better learning experience of the ins and outs. I know you're kind of have the DPW background. So, more of the water, more of the sewer, that kind of thing. I want you to really build this team up with our police department, with our staff, with our DPW. I want to build that connection. I think there's been a little bit of distance. And I think over the next year, I'd like to see us try to maybe rebuild that trust or build that communication level. So again, and also being out in public, I think it's great for the public to be able to stop you or talk to you and say, hey, how about this or that? Because again, you're the go-to person, you're the daily go-to person operations of this village. So I think being out in the public is a good thing.
But she kind of does that like a lot. At the pool, Parks and Rec meetings, all the events, Danielle is there. So I think from the public perspective, she is out there.
I just say it was very successful in the past, and that's something that I think is missing a little bit.
What, do you know more than that, what Jim did?
He met with, most of the department heads. Usually, I don't know if it was daily or not, but it's quite often. And again, he was just out and about. He kind of, he drove and inspected this or did that, or, kind of looked at the different things that are happening infrastructure wise, whatnot. He was just very in the know. That I think that helped him know. I mean, the ins and outs, not just kind of things behind the scenes, but being out there and being involved. I think it would be a benefit. I get
Again, I'm
the
not
time side and
opposed to
effort.
that. I just feel that daily is. That's where I have the concern. I have no problem going out and meeting the employees at their locations, and I mean, I'm doing that already, that it's just me being in a different spot more. I just don't want that to be the goal, and then next year, because I'm telling you, if it's daily, I will fail.
Okay.
And I just don't want to set myself up for failure by knowing.
Maybe
Now
even
that I
your
can't
first
meet
and
that
third
expectation.
meetings could rotate.
And I'm not opposed if you guys want to modify that goal and say that I'm gonna go out weekly.
Yeah.
And do like a rotation and do some different spots. I just know that it takes a lot of time out and now if I'm out and about, instead of having a phone conversation or the meeting I'm already having, now I'm taking away from the things that I get done here. And I'm already not I'm struggling to keep up, and you should see my to-do list. So that's my concern, is how do I balance getting what needs to be done and also meeting that goal?
Well, so your first and third weekly meetings, is there a benefit to meeting here? Could you meet in other places?
Or like meeting, every 1 week and then meeting at the water plant next week, for the next meeting.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an issue with meeting at other locations. We've always done here because typically the staff will come check their mailbox and they'll. So, but I mean, it's not an issue to do it somewhere else, you know.
So maybe just some minor things like that. And then, again, set a schedule and just report back on that schedule, how often you do get out. If it's weekly or bi-weekly, just let us know. And then some sort of scorecard might be nice as well.
What do you mean by that, Chief?
Just if you're approached or if you see things, like if something comes to your attention that maybe a staff member missed or isn't being reported on, or you need, someone meets with you, you can kind of say, that way you go back and look and say, well, I've been out on the road 10 times and there's nothing to report. Or I've been out and I've noticed all this stuff and I understand there's more training or more direction that needs to be given. So just a little scorecard for yourself and then see if there's any value going out there, really.
I don't get the scorecard thing, but.
Well, it's the same thing when we went to the 4 days here in the office, just how many.
track of.
Oh, that just a tracker.
Yeah, just a log.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh,
Scorecard makes
We've
sense.
always called them scorecards.
I think it's scorecard, in my world means like an evaluation.
Oh, no, it's just a
Oh, it's
log.
just like a count of.
Yeah, just if you go out, if there's something I've mentioned, just log it and then you'll know at 3 months from now, 6 months from now, whether there's value. You can come back to council and you can reevaluate that, either make it part of your weekly, bi-weekly or not. Any other goals?
I'm looking at the very first one, where it says to attend all meetings as you are the operational head of the village. I don't know about you guys, the only meeting that I believe she does not attend is the DDA. Everything else, you're at every part, right? And if you're at the DDA, so then I don't know, I mean, you're there, I mean, I don't know.
I have missed a few DDA meetings recently due to some conflicts with my family. I don't remember all of them. I'd have to.
But I know you're in all the parks and rec.
But I do try to attend. I go to all of the planning commission, all of the parks and rec. I will be missing planning commission next month because we'll be out of town, but I try to attend them as much as I can.
So, and I can't recall if this matter to me, but, attending all the meetings. I think maybe it could be continue to attend meetings that you do. Attend. Continue to attend.
Suggesting a verbiage change.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
There's something else that you wanted to address, maybe I wanted to.
No,
Two minors.
I'm rereading. I think this is just the one.
I'll just go ahead and say that I'm very pleased with your leadership and what you brought to the village. I think the scores reflect that. And I know we had a lot to overcome since your arrival, but I just want to say thank you for the job you're doing and keep up the excellent work. So I thought these scores were indicative of how I felt, and I think the council would put points on them. Well done, well done.
Yes, well done. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, so you don't have any minor clarifications, I'll move on to reports.
Should we have a motion to accept this
Oh,
as a whole,
absolutely.
because you'll sign on behalf of the governing body? And then I don't know, so the changes, I just have to continue to attend all meetings. Et cetera. And then for the daily rounds, I have to set a schedule and report back to you guys. And then my only comment to that or further is when I report back to you, if you feel that I'm not meeting that requirement, I would rather know sooner than later. So just please let me know on that. But if you guys are good with those two things, I would just ask for a motion to make it official.
Motion to approve the village administrator's evaluation as amended.
Support it. Bill and Jerry. Lisa, when you're ready.
Mike,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
James.
Yes. All right, any questions on the reports?
Yes, I do. On the zoning report, I think I know the answer. Let me just get there. When it says Danielle. Sorry. Somebody with their property had, go on to someone else, and I'll look for it while you guys are reading them.
Do you have anything for the police? Laura's here, DDA. Any questions about the bicentennial?
I did find mine.
Go ahead.
Danielle, when it says, okay, in the code enforcement section, it says there were 27 code complaints, confirmed violations, letter to send. What is a civil infraction issue? I think I know what that means, but can you explain that?
Yes, so that means that they were issued, they did not comply with the ordinance after being warned, so they were issued a fine, a
Okay,
penalty.
you had told me this before, and that's what I thought it was. Okay. Thank you, that was my only question.
That's based on our new ordinances.
Correct, with the help of the police department.
So we feel like we are able to enforce the new.
Yes.
I would just say on the sludge building, I agree, let's not go with the centrifuge anymore, that was not ideal, I think the screw press would be the better option. Get that stuff out before we send it down to the water, the wastewater. Based on history. No.
There was something in, Laura, your report, so I'll talk, but it was something that you, Laura, you and Danielle, regarding the purchasing of Grassworks site. Is that something that we're gonna be discussing down the road, you're gonna put onto the agenda later on? I'm just curious, as it was in your, or in your,
It was recommended to us by the, by the people who came,
right,
MEDC, and, that was one of their identifying sites.
Yeah.
But I did talk to Rex Christ, and he is planning on bidding. So we're hopeful that that will be taken off the market, so it is going to be going up for sales.
Oh, yeah, it is going to auction. I did look into this based on the recommendation from MEDC.
Right.
I don't have those numbers in front of me. I can share those with you all, but I don't think it would be in our best interest based on what we learned for the village to look at purchasing that, especially since we hopefully have an interested buyer in that property. The biggest reason that MEDC recommended that is because it is one of our top 10 priority sites, and they said that sometimes if you have an absentee property owner and the village can get that local control, it just helps streamline that development process. And right now that the current owner is not in Blissfield or in Michigan, and it does make it challenging to work with them. But again, with it going into auction in August, I don't know. Hopefully whoever purchases it will work with us.
Our biggest fear is that nothing will be done, that it will be bought again and sit there as a blighted building.
understand.
And it's just embarrassing to be on that corner, and they agreed, so that was where, what Danielle was talking about, local control.
I see.
It would be better to tear it down than to have it bought and just deteriorate.
Gotcha. And then when the other suggestions are made from MEDC regarding like apartments or other suggestions that they make, is that something, Laura, that you'll take them to the DDA? And have that discussion? Is that something that we'll begin to talk about? I mean, there really is like
So I'm
apartments had nothing to do with us per se.
I'm working with the new owner, Bill Chester, and Holden Branch, who is our contact at the MEDC, and then Jen Tucker. And they are the people who are very knowledgeable about different programs that will help people put apartments in. MEDC is very pro living above, downtown apartments, so they could do 3 or 4 apartments in there.
Did they also look at B-Town?
They did look at B-Town, yes.
Okay, I knew that they had gone to, gone to a couple of places, okay.
Yeah, I have not approached B-Town, but they identified, ChatGPT,
Yes.
3D, that's what it's called, 3D, called ChatGPT, sorry.
I knew what you meant.
They identified that first, and I know Mike's been working with Abe on a facade grant for, B-Town, and
Okay.
so. I think one step at a time there,
Okay.
because it does take a lot of capital to put those
Oh,
parts
certainly.
in.
I knew you both had said that the time that they came into town was very worthwhile.
Yeah, and I would just kind of expand on what Laura said too. So a lot of what we will do with MEDC and their site development services is work with property owners directly to find resources to help them move the projects forward. Because that would be our goal, is the village not to be a developer, but to be that resource or that connection to help find that gap funding or help get them connected to the right people. If we ever got to a point where we were going to make a recommendation about trying to get that local control and purchase a property or something where the village was expending or doing something more than just being a resource, that would come to the village council, not to the DDA board. Because it is village-wide economic development. But again, for the most part, it'll be her and I just being that resource and helping projects move forward. And helping guide that to make sure that it fits within our master plan, that it's overall what we're wanting to see for the community.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, they were very helpful in giving us guidance on
Good.
the spot on the 10 we identified test sites.
And then you visited Laura, like, just so because you're here right now, you went ahead and you spent that day with that Jim Alt who lived here, Main Street. What kind of things did he, when you did a mentor you and stuff like that, what does that mean?
So Jim has been a DDA Main Street manager for about 14 years, and he has gotten block grants for his downtown. He's actually quite he's known in Michigan for his ability to write grants, so he has shared some of his language and how he writes. Showed me some different things, some different resources. He is also going to be our speaker at Business After Hours. He's going to come and talk to our business owners about Match on Main. In the history that we've been doing Match on Main, which I think is about 15 years, he's never not had a business win one. Wow, isn't that amazing? So he really knows how to write the language.
Okay.
And it's all about telling the story, and he's very good at that. So that was very helpful. He had some amazing ideas and he was just a great resource. So it was a great day for me.
Thanks.
Thanks.
As far as the rest of the reports, I do have a request. At one time, we were receiving reports from DPW as well as the wastewater treatment plant, and that's kind of subsided. And I would like those reports to appear again at the same time as the other reports. So at the end of the next month, would it be possible for those two groups of folks to have a report first for Steve and Brent?
Yes, I will work with them on which meeting will work best for them.
Okay.
Because I'll need their report the Wednesday before, so I'll talk to them about their workload and then we'll get those scheduled.
I just say that I had the opportunity, you guys, to go up there to the wastewater treatment plant today, and I've been up there before, a couple times. Anyhow, it's the best it's ever looked, and I just, I just think that, it's helpful when we know, because we don't always have that opportunity to go out there either. But, painting those rails, just simply painting those rails that yellow, and using those, scraping off the old stuff, and putting on the new paint, it just looks great and grass is mowed. And there's no weeds, it just looks like, oh my gosh, this is a respectable facility. And Steve's done a really nice job. So I just kind of like to know if they're doing something special, and even like the DPW, they got a special thing, hey, we went ahead and we did that, thing down there in the concrete for the dog. Park, you know what I'm saying? Just. We want to micromanage, that's what I'm asking, for just reporting what they're up to. Okay. Thank you.
Are you talking about the traffic? I think to stop traffic from going on the sidewalk?
No,
Just.
Oh, yeah, that, bumper thing, what, I don't know,
Yeah.
that.
Well,
I know the B word, forward.
The signs are ordered. I need to see where the signs are at. I have not looked at the bollard yet, so I just have not had time, but we did order no, I don't remember, no vehicular traffic that we were gonna post down there. I'll look at those, I need to know to myself.
That needs, yeah, I agree, I get store up.
Again, we're doing such a nice job of being proactive. We've already known people have been on it, let's keep it going.
Council.
Sorry, yeah, just real quick, regarding the DVP numbers. Does this go back to the size of Brian's water lines and again, us having to keep that mouth shut, right? I mean,
Where are you, Mike? What do you-
I'm sorry, on the
Yeah.
water.
Water treatment.
Yeah, regarding Brian's lines.
Gotcha.
So it's something we've been fighting for 2 years, right? I mean, at least. So is it the size of the line that's the issue, the water sitting in it, is this gonna change? It's potentially, the ethanol plant comes online. What do we do about this? Is this our problem right now because providing enough water is a Brian's lines?
It's Riga's, unfortunately, the water we're providing them is. Meeting, actually would rather say exceeding all of the requirements. I do think that the size of their line has a significant impact. It's far oversized for what they use. They did hit the 2-year sampling mark, for switching their valves around. So we are still trying to encourage them to switch it back to the way it was, because you guys know, and I've said before, we installed the mixers and then they closed that valve, so we don't really know if the mixers were helping them or not. And then I can't answer the question about if the ethanol plant will help or not, because I think there's a lot of unknowns. With what all they will do right now, they're using it as green storage facility. I can tell you that they did come talk to us and they are hoping to get it up and running again. We are working on some information that we'll share with them that I will also be sharing with you all. So that you guys did the exact same thing as them, but I don't have that prepared yet, and they're looking at, I think, several different options and plans, and I'm not sure that they know today what exactly their plans are yet.
Yeah, I think a lot of us were surprised probably to read that it did sell, and not the one to be always negative, but we don't know what's gonna happen there. We haven't discussed anything as a village providing them water, how much they will use if they go back online, if they produce whatnot. So again, we will do our due diligence. We'll obviously sit down with them, discuss rates and options and prices and usage, all that down the line, but let's not get the cart before the horse on it. Let's see what they're gonna do with it. I don't want people to think that we're gonna drop rates or we're gonna sell them water. I mean, this is a much larger discussion than, just selling water again. Get involved, we need to staff the plant with another 8-hour operation or second operation. So it's a big issue, but a lot of discussion.
I'll roll it into council discussion.
Yeah, I got something. So I want to issue a
a public apology to the council members. Let me explain. On July 9th, I attended the township meeting down there, and I made some public comments, but I didn't preface my comments with that I was there only as a citizen of Blissfield, not as a village council member. I went down there to talk about some articles that have been in the paper, not really articles, more of the recording of minutes that have taken place down there. And a couple of the comments that I read that kind of got to me were something like this, quote unquote, we don't want to be like the village because they're having problems right now. We don't want to be associated with them. And I thought that was kind of inflammatory to be published in the advance, kind of throwing shade at us. And I was upset about that. I didn't like it. I went down and voiced my opinion. And I don't know if you've heard any follow-up from that or not, but I just want to be upfront and take ownership and make the apology that I didn't preface my comments. That I was there as a private citizen, not as a village council member. So, sorry for that.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. I've heard nothing.
I heard nothing.
I applaud you for sticking up for the village. Thank you.
Have we been able to satisfy her daughter motif as far as the parking at the park? That's
have we been able to satisfy them?
I have to go back around on this.
Yeah.
Can you explain?
So at the most recent DDA meeting, the need for additional downtown outdoor seating was discussed. In fact, Mike brought it to our attention that B-Town had requested some sort of outdoor seating. I had made a note on that during our last music festival. People were sitting in the street. I thought that was a danger and a hazard. So the idea of creating more outdoor seating was discussed and approved by the DDA board. I'd like to also say that that was done with the intention of creating more vibrancy in the downtown area in order to attract more people to come out, to dine, to shop, to experience the downtown events. It's not done with the intention to hurt any business. But yes, there has been some pushback about that. I still think that there's a need to try it out. It was always meant as a temporary solution. The parklets will be removed at some point. They're not designed to fit out all winter long. But the parking in Blissfield is some of the most reasonable parking I've ever experienced anywhere I've ever lived. There's more parking down here. People just refuse to use it. They want to park right out front, and they need to get out of that habit. There's parking behind the buildings, there's parking in front of the buildings, there's parking north of 223, there's parking south on Lane and on Jefferson. There's so much parking down here, it's never full. It's not always utilized, but it's never full. The fact that people think they need to park outside, or business owners think that their guests, clients need to park right outside, I think is a falsehood. They need to let their people know there is a lot of parking for events, for shopping, dining. Anytime they come downtown, it's available for you. So I don't know if if they've been resolved. I don't know if that's a satisfactory answer. I did talk to an individual that called me on behalf of her daughter's boutique. Hopefully they come to the next EDA meeting. Hopefully they get involved in some of these decisions. We'd love to have input from business owners. It's difficult sometimes as a board to make decisions, but when we feel it's best for the downtown core or the DDA section without business owner input, we do our best. We always try to put them first. So I would say if Laura's going to keep a close eye on it and report back to the DDA, and what this board wants to know, they're certainly entitled to that information, but it's a temporary trial, and I think it's going to do great things. It's definitely improved vibrancy in other communities. You can go to downtown Sylvania and see the park that's being used all the time. So hopefully we have some similar type of results.
I think that when I received a phone call from a citizen, they were thinking we're gonna have 3 parklets downtown.
We're gonna have 2. We already have 2. One is at Peppers currently, and it's becoming, a problem in that it's on, wet ground, and so it's kind of getting deteriorated, so we want to move it. So I've been in contact with, in talks with Pablo, who is the business owner of B-Town, and he's very amenable to putting the parklet in front of him there, and then once a month or whenever we have a music in the park, if we have to gate off a parking space just for that night, we will do that, like we did over it. So what we did in front of B-Town is we did a temporary thing so that we can start counting and we can start encouraging people to use it. After the bicentennial, Brent's gonna move the parklet down. I'm gonna stain it. We're gonna get it all ship shape. And then if it is not used, we'll find another use for it. If B-Town can't train their people to use it, like Four Keys has, it doesn't make sense to have it. So, in terms of, I have a very good relationship with her daughter's boutique, and I've been in contact with her, but we're for everybody. We're trying to make decisions that are the best thing for Blissfield and economic development of Blissfield. And so, and I appreciate your comments. We've been, possibly we'll just get an inexpensive sign that says parking with the directional, that people know that there's a parking lot back there. Perhaps I can encourage business owners to park over there and set the tone. I doubt it, but we'll try.
Business owners are parking in the customers' parking spots.
We have many business owners that park in front of their store.
Yes.
Sorry, should not be.
But
Well, that's something that hurts.
Human nature to park close to the door.
But
It
if
is,
we have
I
a
mean, it's-
business, I
it
wouldn't think that I would
is.
park in front of my store.
You know, it seems like it's a long way, but it's really not that. I mean, when you think about when you go to the mall at Christmas, you're walking a long way to get to the mall. You're walking about the same distance.
I just didn't realize business owners were doing it.
Let me just clarify the placement on that, so we're gonna move that one directly on Pablo's side, correct, not in front of
Yeah,
the park.
he and I have been talking a little bit and kind of, doing some tweaking and trying to figure out how to get that in there with the least amount of disruption.
It is on his side though. It is on the.
It'll be on this side.
It'll be on this side that we're,
So there's one on Forky side and one on P-Town side, and then
Correct.
the temporary one will go away, and we'll leave the rest.
the temporary one will come out just at the music on the front. If we need it.
Well, Danielle did share that with you, it's kind of cleared up in my mind, because when I received your call, I had no idea what you were talking about.
I received one of those calls too, as soon as same. And again, it's a double-edged sword, we're never gonna win with everybody, and one thing that you try to do good. Yeah, obviously affects others, but if we do need to listen to this, so it's owners, like I said, you're absolutely right, that's why we're here, we're doing this stuff for you, so. I get it too, yeah, you walk, 500 yards at the mall or fire or whatever, but parking downtown, it is what it is, but perception is also can be reality. If people aren't stopping, people don't want to utilize the store, that's frustrating for the small business owners as well. So again, if it's not working, if it's only working for one or two, if it's not working for the rest, then it's something we need to reconsider. It's
But
something,
if two
Yeah.
business owners are parking in the street,
I agree that.
and you're gonna
needs to
put
fix it.
a parklet into two places.
Yeah,
It's
solve the problem.
equal. Two.
I think it's just a matter of trying to train people and,
Well, in other words, they really should not complain, is what I'm trying to say. Sorry.
Well, maybe they just haven't thought of it. Okay. If the business owner is parking
I
right
think it
in
would
front
be
of the
business
shop.
101, don't park in front of your business.
You're taking up a spot for a potential customer.
Exactly. So, I mean, so that would be business law,
Well, maybe-
102, I
Maybe
don't,
they haven't thought about, I don't know. When I go to the parking lot, I try to park as far away so nobody will hit me.
exactly.
I don't park up for everybody, usually it has, you can ask my wife, we discuss that quite often.
Esther says, park up here.
And you drop her off at the door and then you go park, correct?
If she allows me to.
He says we normally need to walk, so we usually walk.
But I try to park away from everybody. So, but I received a phone call, so I just wanted to bring it up. Talked to James about it, talked to Danielle. I understand it a lot more now. I just didn't know if it was gonna be satisfactory to the business owner.
So change is hard for any small town. And this is a very perennial problem for almost every small town. It's on all of our chat sites, parking. And most towns don't have a parking issue, but there is a perception of a parking issue. I did a parking count, including the Orchard Brothers and the bank and the parking lot over by the halfway house. We have, I think, close to 650 parking spaces. Now, that's not all downtown, but that is a lot of parking. Yeah, the north lot has a lot of space and nobody parks there. We do.
They think it's too far to walk.
So it's just training and it's, I think if we can get business owners to set the tone and park down there, the track. Right now.
I think it's,
All right, any other further council discussion?
Read through the proposed budget, it's actually good dialogue.
I will apologize up front, I am up in town, moving down into a small storm. I've been through the budget. Pretty good, I might have some questions again on this week. I like it. Healthy discussion.
All those people. Gotcha.
We need Monday for that first thing. Yeah. Setting them off. My budget's changing. All right, public comment, items on the agenda, items not on the agenda. Please state your name for the record.
Jackie Bates, I thought of this before you mentioned it, but a long time ago, when I worked at the halfway house, Art rented a field behind the Legion to afford parking places for the customers, but we had to walk. So, yeah, that was a long way. I mean, in the winter, if you work 10 hours, yeah, it's a long way. Another thing, when we're talking about this parkland, maybe you'd like to revisit the fact that you could put no extended cab pickup trucks parallel parking street. Because you can have one there and one over there, the traffic. Yeah, because with the parkland, it's very hard. If you're parked next to an extended cab and they got a trailer hitch this far out behind it, to get out. And if there's gonna be people walking around, and I've said before, like you said, there's lots of parking back there. Let them park back there. The extended cab pickup trucks like they go. And that would eliminate one of the trucks that regularly parked on the street. We're not calling, I'm not saying their names, we know. Okay, but I think a lot of people would really appreciate that.
Jackie. Any other public comment? All right, we'd like the honors. We adjourn the meeting. So, ooh, that's we call Tim. Did my ear first. Jerry and Tim. Go ahead, Lisa.
Gwen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike,
yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yeah.
James.
Yes, meeting adjourned. We're not back until August 12th for our next meeting, but budget workshop between now and